निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे. All right, so what did we learn last time? Anybody remembers and wants to say what we learned last time? Yes, Rishi, go ahead.
We learned what we learned about last time is like how Sage Valmiki composed the Ramayana when he saw the two deer and the hunter. Like the curse came from Lord Brahma, but like he was like his mouth was moving, so it looked like he was saying it, and then he was so like sad, like why did I do this? And then like he realized that it was his affection and material nature to this world. And so he composed the Ramayana. And then he taught this to Lava and Kusha, who had the memory like his father Ram. And like Lava and Kusha could remember anything. Like, so if I say A, they can repeat A how many times they want. And like so they went to Brahmins and they got rewards, and then finally they reached Ayodhya. And then we left at the area where Rama and Lakshmana and Shatrugna and Bharata were listening to the Ramayana and all got purified.
That was a very good summary, Rishi. You listened really attentively in the class. I'm so impressed with your learning. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate it. So today we can get started and move on to see what else we have as far as Ramayan goes. Okay, one second.
We're gonna start from page 9 or on page 10.
You're muted. Mataji, you're muted. Mataji,
Oh, sorry. I'm muted. Yes. So we are going to see from page 8, like there is a last paragraph that talks about something. So the great tract of land known as Koshala extended along the banks of Sarayu River. The land was verdant, prosperous, and rich in grain. Within this vast territory was a renowned city of Ayodhya, built by the desire of Vaivashvata Manu, the ruler of mankind. So, who was Vaivashvata Manu? He is the ruler of mankind, and there is a vast territory that was built in the city of Ayodhya by Vaivashvata Manu. Okay, by the desire of Vaivashvata Manu. He had that desire to build. And this glorious city was 96 miles long and 24 miles wide. It was very well laid out. Every day, the damsels of the celestial planets hovered about it in their beautiful aeroplanes and showered it with flowers. So, this was the scenario in the city of Ayodhya. There was the desire for this Vaivashvata Manu to build a renowned city in the vast territory of Ayodhya, and this territory was visited by a lot of people from the celestial planets. The arched gateways of Ayodhya were made of marble, and the gates were wrought with gold and silver embedded with precious jewels. And throughout the city, there were dancers acting throughout the Lord's pastimes for everyone's benefit. We are all talking about Ayodhya now. Within Ayodhya, there were beautiful gardens, there were flowers shaded with fruit trees. And then blue, red, and golden lotuses filled the ponds, and fountains shot water high into the air. There were gentle breezes that were carrying the aromatic spray from the fountains, cooling the citizens by their touch and making even a hot summer day seem like a spring. So when we have a light small breeze that comes and touches our face, we feel so nice, right? It cools us so much. And this is what was happening in the city of Ayodhya. It was so nice, it was so lustrous, it was evergreen, there were beautiful flowers, there were fruits, and the water, the water sprays touch people's face in a very light way, and because of which they get cooled. The water flowing through Ayodhya streams and rivulets tasted as sweet as sugarcane sap. Can you all believe? If you drink water, it was tasting as sweet as sugarcane juice. So like that, the water was there in Ayodhya. Many houses and palaces, they were all perfectly designed, and they were built of precious stones and decorated with flags. Their beauty rivaled the palaces of Vaikunta. So, it was so nice that they were able to see that there is a comparison to the city of Ayodhya to Vaikunta. People in Vaikunta would even rival at looking at how nice this Ayodhya city is. And thousands of warriors, they were protected in the great city by skilled archers which were well versed in the weapons and chariots, and they were able to fight with thousands of men all the time. Now we see that Maharaj Dasharath, he was the emperor of the entire world, and he was a great Rajarishi. Rajarishi means even though he's a king, at any point in time, if he's given an opportunity to say you have to go to the forest, what he will do is he will leave everything right in the kingdom and he will go to the forest. That is what is Rajarishi. What is the meaning of Rajarishi? Can somebody say?
Me.
Namish.
That you will leave everything and go to the forest.
What is the question?
Yeah, so say, who I said Namish. Hare Krishna. Namish, did you want to answer?
Yes, I got an answer. So I'm asking what is the question? I forgot the question.
Okay, you have to pay attention then. Rajarishi. I asked what is Rajarishi?
I know the answer.
Oh, Rajarishi is the king of empire, and he built palace, and he
No.
forgot
That is
his
not.
wife.
Yeah, Rajarishi. Raja. What does Raja mean? Raja
Raja means king.
and Rishi means he is able to renounce everything. Even if he has a kingdom, he can renounce that. That is why he is called Rajarishi. So they don't have any attachments whatsoever. Sometimes what happens when we have a computer, and if something happens to the computer, we feel like as if we are lost, or our life is lost. Somebody may meet with an accident and their car might be broken, and oh, I'm broke, they will say. They are identifying themselves with the car and they say that statement. And this is what we should avoid. We should not have any kind of overly attachment to any material object. Because if we have, when we lose that object, we will start to feel so sad about it. Okay. And as kids, we are given responsibilities to fulfill certain tasks and we should not shy away from that. Okay. Like that, Rajarishi is Dasharatha was a Rajarishi. He was a formidable warrior capable of fighting alone with unlimited number of opponents. Say for example, there are unlimited number of people on the opposite side, but Dasharatha alone can tackle everybody. He doesn't even need any kind of army along with him to fight. He can manage hundreds and thousands of people. Because he and the citizens were completely pious, Ayodhya was a picture of perfect Vedic civilization. So, say for example, in your family, if your parents are Krishna conscious, then the kids will automatically become Krishna conscious. They will not say, I won't chant. They won't say, I won't do Srimad Bhagavatam class. I will not do Ramayan class. They won't say that because it is coming from your parents. If your parents are Krishna conscious, they will make sure to engage you in Krishna conscious activities, right? And likewise, if a king is Krishna conscious, then all the citizens also will become Krishna conscious, isn't it? And that is why we have to have a Krishna conscious ruler. And Dasharath, he was so pious, meaning he was Krishna conscious, and hence he was able to spread his knowledge of Krishna consciousness to the people all over Ayodhya. Are you clear? In Ayodhya, there are 4 social orders, namely, what are the 4 social orders? Brahmana,
Brahmana, Shudra, Vaishya, and Kshatriya.
Kshatriya. They all participate. So, for the society to work in a very nice way, all of them must cooperate with each other, right? If they are going to fight, if the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas and Sudras and Vaishyas are not going to cooperate with each other, then there won't be perfect society, right? And this perfect society on the social orders was seen in the kingdom of Ayodhya. No one cheated and no one was miserly. All can you all understand? Nobody cheated there. So, say for example, you did a mistake and you want to hide the mistake from your parents. So that time you say a lie. That is not happening. And we should not, first of all, say a lie to parents, and because that is going to lead you to more problems, isn't it? Have you ever come across a scenario where you were trying to hide something and that in fact would lead to bigger problems than confronting to your parents that this is what happened? Have you come across that kind of situation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very important that we keep up our principles, because our conscience also will be pricking. Oh my God, we have said a lie and that is not right. So those kinds of behaviors must be totally avoided. Okay, because our super soul is not going to be happy in us telling a lie, and that is why we need to avoid. Okay, even though you can hide it externally from others, inside you know what Krishna is doing. He's looking what you're doing and you're going to reap your benefits, whatever that might be. No one cheated or no one was miserly or stingy. Arrogance, atheism, and harsh behavior and speech were conspicuous by their absence. Nothing was there. There were no arrogance, there were no atheism. When God is there, how can atheism prevail? And there was no harsh behavior. Even though Maharaj Dasharath possessed such fantastic opulence and prestige, he remained unhappy. So now, because can opulence give you happiness? Can opulence give you happiness? You have hundreds of bungalows, and would you be happy just by the fact that you have hundreds
No.
of bungalows?
No.
Why doesn't opulence give you
No,
happiness? Okay, that is a question to you, Kipi, to you guys. Why doesn't happiness give you? I mean, opulence give you happiness?
because opulence isn't the only thing you need in life to
Because
become happy.
opulence
You need
is
to do
not
the chanting,
the
because
most
if you
important
don't do
thing
the
that you
chanting or the
Yeah,
thing,
one
you
by
will
one.
be depressed.
Yeah, so we have to do Krishna consciousness. And when we do Krishna consciousness, that time I'll come to you, Rishi. Yes, I see your hand. And I also see you're very, very attentively listening. Very good job, both of you. You are nodding your heads, you are showing all actions which I can follow. And I know that you are perfectly in tune to listen to the class. Okay, so yes, opulence. I mean, we have because these people are Rajarishis and they are not attached to the opulence they have. They know that everything is coming from Krishna. So we should be. He is the proprietor and he is the enjoyer. They know that. So because of Krishna consciousness, we know the fact. But a materialist, he would think, "Oh, I earned the money. I got it. I worked 8 hours and I got the money. That is why I have opulence, and it is meant for my enjoyment." That is the materialist perspective. But a devotee's perspective, no, no, everything should be used in the service of Krishna, and this is what I want. And that is the reason, how much ever opulence they have, they know Krishna is the proprietor of those opulence, and they are not the proprietor or the enjoyer. Okay. And that is why they are trying, they are very renounced from it. And that is the reason why opulence doesn't give them happiness. It is only Krishna consciousness that would give happiness to you. Okay. And not anything else. By doing chanting, by doing devotional service, by listening to your parents, by fulfilling your duty. Like if you are assigned certain things as homework in your school, or all that also needs to be completed apart from your spiritual duties. There are two kinds of duties, two swadharma, right? Material duties and spiritual duties. You have to fulfill both your duties in order to be successful. Why, I just want to do only Krishna conscious. No, in order to sustain the body and soul together, we have to do both. Okay, and that is the reason why we have to do. And why was this Dasharath unhappy? Let's look into it. Try as he may, the king was
He
unable
tried
to.
to he tried to everything. He didn't have a child. He didn't have a child.
He has
Yes,
one thing left. He had no child.
correct. Can we, whenever I ask questions, we can talk, okay?
Okay.
Yes, so Dasharath, he was unable to beget a son. to continue his dynasty. Finally, after much deliberation, King Dasharath he decided to perform what? A horse sacrifice for the purpose of getting a son. With this in mind, he sent his chief minister Sumantara. What was his chief minister name? Sumantara, to call for family priests. When Brahmanas headed by Vashishta and Vamadeva assembled, the Maharaj Dasharath he addressed them saying, "O best among the twice born, for many years I have ardently desired to beget a son. However, all my attempts have been in vain. Because I am without a heir, I can no longer feel happiness. Indeed, my days have been wasted and it's always filled with grief. Therefore, after much consideration, with your kind permission, I have decided to perform a horse sacrifice. Because you are fully knowledgeable in scripture, I am confident that you will be able to lead me on the proper path." The priests unanimously approved of Maharaj Dasharath's idea to perform the horse sacrifice. Thereafter, the king ordered his ministers to make necessary arrangements without delay. Sumantara then took Maharaj Dashrath aside to narrate the following story he had heard of Sanat Kumara, who had spoken in the assembly of great sages. "You will be interested to hear the story, my king," Sumantara said, "because it predicts that in the future you will become the father of four glorious sons." So now Dashratha, as Govinda said, he's very unhappy. He doesn't have any sons. And as a Kshatriya, we need to make sure that there is progeny, right? What does progeny means? Progeny means we need, once the king gets old, he needs to appoint somebody so that they can become a king, so that they will have somebody who can continue the reign. And we also want to make sure that that particular person, whoever is appointed as a king, must be Krishna conscious. Right? If he is not Krishna conscious, would it be a good environment to sustain? Why isn't it? Okay, I will ask raised hands. Okay, let's just do some question and answers and try to understand this further. Yes, Aditya, go ahead.
Um, okay, yeah, so the reason that you need like a Krishna conscious king is because like if the king is not Krishna conscious, then the rest of the like the country or whatever, the rest or whatever he's ruling, nobody will be happy, nobody will be doing like good things. Like an example is when Parikshit was king, like nobody was doing anything bad at all, and Parikshit was an extremely Krishna conscious and really good devotee of Krishna.
Wonderful point Aditya brings. He says that when when a king is Krishna, when a person is Krishna conscious king, then all his citizens also will become Krishna conscious, and that way there is no problem, no anxiety, no they will have good Vaishnava qualities in them. And we also have example from Srimad Bhagavatam about King Vena. He was a very bad atheistic king, right? Because he didn't want the Brahmanas to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he wanted the Brahmanas to worship him. And we all know that is not right. We cannot be worshipped. We are all servants of the Lord. And King Vena, he was so arrogant that he made the Brahmanas worship him. The Brahmanas, they couldn't tolerate anymore. And they chanted some mantras, and because of which King Vena died. So we can see from Bhagavatam that if the king is, see, for example, you should immediately start remembering your parents. If your parents are not into Krishna consciousness, it's very difficult for you to know about Krishna. And the real misery of not knowing Krishna is why your problems are. When you know about Krishna, then slowly when you start to understand that Krishna, he is the Lord of all, he is the proprietor of all, he is the enjoyer, and I'm just his servant, right? And that is the knowledge that we need to have. When we don't have that knowledge, we think we are the doer. But when in fact, we are just one of the doers, right? And that is why it is very important to have a Krishna conscious king. And now Dasharath, he arranged to perform a horse sacrifice, and he's not making the decision on his own. Look at that. He is going to consult Vashishta Muni, and he's asking Vashishta Muni if that is okay for him to do the sacrifice. And then Vashishta Muni, he gives his approval. He says, yes, you can do it and go ahead with that. And then now we also see Sumantara, he's going to tell some story of Sanat Kumara to Dasharatha. And let's see what that story is. The story of Sanat Kumara is predicting that, Dasharath is going to have 4 sons. Are you all clear with the subject matter so far?
The 4 sons I know.
Are you all clear so far?
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Arun, are you listening?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Wait, but Mataji, he had 4 sons in all from all his wives, right?
Yes, yes. We are going to see that soon. We are going to, it's a very interesting story. Let's just patiently wait, okay? I'm going to do the class for the next 20 minutes. After that, I'm going to ask question and answers. I want everybody to answer, just not somebody, but everybody. Okay, all of you all going to pay attention for the next 20 minutes. That's all. And then we are going to have question and answer session. Are you all ready?
Yeah, Mataji, and Mataji, but
Yes.
one of the Dasharath's wives had 2 sons and
Yes,
someone
baby. Yes, Govind, we are going to see that, okay? Just a minute.
was soon
It
as
so happened that Sanat Kumara previously related the same story in the Satya Yuga of the previous millennium. Thus, none of the events which were described by him had yet occurred, but were destined to take place in the far distant future. Due to some offense on the part of King Romapad, there once came to be an extremely severe drought within the kingdom, causing great fear among all living beings. When the conditions became intolerable, Maharaj Romapada summoned his council of learned Brahmanas and inquired him the cause of the drought. I know that it is because of some fault of mine that this terrible drought has overcome my kingdom. O best of twice born, because of your knowledge is boundless, please prescribe atonement of my past sins. The Brahmanas replied, O king, there is a great Brahmana sage named Mrigi Rishi who is residing in the forest. The Mrigi Rishi is the son of Kashyapa and his son is Rishyasingha. If you can bring Rishi's son to the kingdom and give him your daughter Shanta in marriage, the drought will immediately end. Shanta was actually the daughter of Maharaj Dasharath but had been given to King's childless friend Romapada at latest request. King Romapada was very glad to learn that the means of ending his drought when he requested his priests to summon Rishyasingha. They refused. The Brahmanas explained, O king, we fear that Maharaj Rishi will curse us if we try to lure his son away from home. Rishyasingha has been brought up by his father in complete isolation. So it's a very, very interesting story. Okay, all of you all, can you all pay attention? How do you pay attention? Through your ears, right? It's a very interesting story. Okay, if you all listen in, you will enjoy. So now we have Romapada. Romapada is who Dasharath has given his daughter Shanta. Okay, the Romapada didn't have any child, and because of which he asked Dasharath, and Dasharath then gave his daughter Shanta to Romapad. And in his kingdom, what happened was there was drought, meaning there was no water to grow plants, and everybody were in poverty condition. And the king thought that, oh, it is because of my bad activities that the whole kingdom is suffering, so I need to find out some atonement for my sins. So he goes to the Brahmanas and he tells them, oh, please take care of my sins. I don't know what atonement I should perform to get rid of this poverty situation in my kingdom. Please help me. See how he makes use of his intelligence to go to the Brahmanas. Whenever we are in problems, where should we go? Where should we go?
Brahmas, to the Brahmas.
No. For us, we don't have Brahmanas. I mean, we don't. We can't directly go to the Brahmanas, but where we can go? We have Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam,
devotees.
Yeah.
The scriptures.
So Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra.
Go have association with the devotees.
Wonderful point, Varun. Yes, association of devotees. Through that, you are getting associated with Sri Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras, right? This is the place. Whenever we are having some problems, like how Arjuna, he used his intelligence to surrender to Krishna, we also should use our intelligence. Whenever we have problems, we should not go and look at Google what Google says. No, that is not the place where we can go or type in your problem and see what Google says. No, we go to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. This is what Vaishnavas do. Okay, likewise this the Romapath, because they have the lineage, they have the Varna ashrama, right? And they were perfectly following the Varna ashrama. The Kshatriya king, he will go to a Brahmana and he will ask the Brahmanas what he should do. Because the Brahmanas are intelligent and learned in the scriptures, he will ask for their opinion. And likewise Romapada, he also went to the Brahmana and he asked, okay, Brahmanas, please guide me. How can I atone or get rid of my sins so that my kingdom can be in a very happy way, not poverty stricken, not, not how it is now. And so the brahmanas, they say, oh, there is this person, there is this rishi called Mrigi Rishi, and he has a son. And if your daughter Shanta, if she is going to get married to the son of Mrigi Rishi, then your poverty condition will go away, then there will be no drought. Okay, this is what you need to do. Like that, the Brahmanas instructed the Romapada. And now Romapadas, what he is going to do?
Romapada Dasharath.
So what he is going to do, he is going to have some people go to, I mean, all of them, they were afraid to go and see Mrigi Rishi, because Mrigi Rishi is capable of cursing everybody, and he is bringing up his son Rishishringa in a very isolated way, meaning he is not exposing his sons to anybody. He doesn't even know that there are ladies. He only knows about his dad, that's all. Mrigi Rishi is the only person he has ever seen in his life. And Rishi Shinga, he has no association whatsoever with anybody. Are you clear, kids? And whoever goes there, if they go, what will happen? Mirgirishi may curse, right? I mean, that is why they are all scared. Oh, I'm not going. I'm not going because Mirgirishi is capable of cursing me. I don't want to go and get in any kind of curse. Like that, everybody is shying away and saying, no, 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 not me, not me, not me. Okay.
Wait, Mataji, but aren't curses from like brahmanas usually like not bad?
It is not bad, but in this situation, see, Mrigrishi is isolating his son for the purpose of Krishna conscious. He wants to go have Rishishringi go back to Godhead, right? That is the reason why he is isolating. Certain times, your parents, they don't want to allow you to go to some of your friends' house because they may feel very unprotected. You may learn some bad things from them, especially if they are not a Krishna conscious devotee. So they are very protective of you, right? Likewise, the Mrigirishi, he was also very protective. Are you able to understand the situation?
So Mataji, what kind of curses are there?
Why would Rishi curse them for no reason?
It is not for no reason. They are going to go, contact his son Rishi Shringa, right? And he is protecting him in isolation, meaning he's not having him be in touch with anybody whatsoever. But if somebody is going to come and, allure or entice Rishi Shringa, will he be happy?
No. Mataji, what kind of curses are there?
So we are going to go further into the story. Okay, he has
Kids,
never another.
kids, I have a request. Please take first lesson. Then after the lesson, you can ask your questions. So it's not distract to other kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Mother. He has never seen any other human being because Rishyasringa has never once beheld a member of the, he is, so he has never seen anybody. Okay, he has seen only Mrigi Rishi. That is his only association. Imagine if you have not seen anybody else in this world, only your parents or only your mom or dad, how it will be. Like that, Rishi Shringa is feeling. Okay, but he's not he's not wanting for any association also, because he doesn't know that there is some association that is existing, because he's never seen any association. My dear king, since we desire your welfare, we devised a method for bringing Rishishringa to your kingdom. Having the most beautiful of the courtesans go there and allure him with feminine ways. We are certain that by this mean your aim will be accomplished. So they are planning to send some girls over to Rishishringa to attract him and then bring him over to his kingdom. Okay. Maharaj Romapada, he agreed to the plan and then sent the foremost young beautiful prostitutes. After being thus instructed by the king and promised sufficient rewards, the girls departed for the forest, determined to bring the young rishi at all costs. Now, these girls, they have been given good remuneration. They have been paid nicely by the king, Romapad, and he is asking these girls to go and lure Rishishringa. He somehow or the other, you have to lure him and bring him to the kingdom. This is what I want you to do. This is your job and here is your remuneration. Go for it. Like that, Rishishringa, Romapada has given instructions to these girls. Thereafter, these girls set up their camp at the ashrama of Mriga Rishi and waited for an opportunity time. Now, Mrigrishi, he doesn't know that these girls are here. Okay. They are going to now look for a time where Mrigrishi is not available, and then they are going to go into the ashram and talk to Rishi Shringa. It so happened that one day Rishi Shringa wandered away from home and came to the camp of the girls. So wherever they were camping in the forest, Rishi Shringa, he happened to come across these girls in the camp. Seeing him, the girls jubilantly approached Rishi Shringa. When they asked about his identity, the boy replied, I am the son of Mrigirishi. I am engaged in performing austerities nearby in my father's ashram. How wonderfully, beautifully
Wait,
all of you look
Mataji,
at.
you said there's a word I didn't understand. They approached
Yes,
Ju,
jubilantly,
what does that
happily.
mean?
Happily.
Oh, okay.
They were so happy and elated to see Rishi Shringa because they were waiting for an opportunity to go and entice this person, right? And when he himself came to them, he was so happy. See, they were all so happy. The girls were all so happy, jubilant. Okay, and he is introducing now. Who is introducing to who? Rishi Shringa, he is introducing to the girls. He's saying, I am the son of Mrigrishi and I am doing austerities in my father's ashrama. And how wonderfully beautiful all of you all look. Oh my God, he's seeing the girls for the first time ever in his life. Looking at them, he was so captivated by their beauty. He was like, oh my God, how beautifully looking you are. You are looking so charming. I have never seen somebody like this in my life ever. Like that, he started to appreciate them. I wish that you come to my home and accept my worship and hospitality. Like that. See, as soon as he saw somebody, he's expecting that those girls come to his home and, and I can treat you. Like that, he's saying. The girls, they went to Rishi Shringa where they were nicely received at the ashrama with the offerings of water, and then they were given various kinds of fruits and roots. However, the girls were extremely afraid of who? Mrigrishi. When will he come? When will he return? Is he going to come and see us? So they were so afraid of him. And at any point that he would return. And they did not wish to stay there for so long because they know if Mrigrishi sees this, they will get into problem. So they were kind of always seeing, oh, is somebody coming? Is somebody watching me? Is Migrishi coming? Like that, they were always kind of in anxiety when they were in Rishi Shringa's house. But Rishi Shringa, he doesn't know all this. He's so innocent, right? He's seeing these girls for the first time. He's very attracted seeing their beauty, and he wanted to return favor by treating them very nicely at home. Okay, he was not worried about Mrigrishi coming because he had no false intention of doing any mistake. Okay, my dear friend, the girls they were leaving, they said, my dear friend, our customs for receiving guests are quite different from from yours. Now please accept our honorings, our offerings of honor and respect in turn. So now it is your turn, Rishi Shringa, to come to our house. So you have to come now because our turn is done and it is now your turn to come to our house. And our way of reciprocation is different from that of yours. So I am eagerly waiting for your arrival. Like that, the girls told Rishi Shringa. Saying this, the girls embraced Rishi Shringa tightly with great affection and then fed sumptuous sweets. They all gave good sweets to Rishi Shringa. Never before the Rishi's innocent son tasted anything so pleasing. He has never tasted sweets ever in his life because all he's used to eating roots and fruits and whatever that was available in the forest is what he used to eat, right? And now these girls, they prepared good sweets, and when they were sweeting, Rishi Shinga was like, wow, I have never eaten a gulab jamun, rasagulla, so many sweets like this ever in my life. This is my first time. It is so nice. Like that, he started to say. Never before the Rishi's innocent son tasted anything so pleasing, for he had been accustomed to eating only fruits and roots. Indeed, he thought that the sweets were a type of wonderful fruit. That was how innocent he was. He just thought that sweet was also a fruit. Moreover, since he had previously seen only his father, he took the girls to be enchantingly beautiful men. Again, he didn't know what is the difference between men and women also. He thought that they were also some kind of men only. But they were beautiful class of men. That is what his innocence is. He doesn't know anybody. He has no exposure to whatsoever. His father, he was so kind enough to have Rishyashringa always perform austerity, and he wanted him to go back to the godhead faster. And that is the reason he was not exposed to any of this. So one may ask, oh, his father was not at all good. How can he not expose him to anything? Why would you unnecessarily want to expose your kid into something bad, or if it is not necessary? If he has no distractions, then he can peacefully perform the austerities, right? Instead of having so many distractions. If you don't have distractions, then you can perform your meditation, chanting, devotional service in a very nice way. That is why this father did not introduce him to anything. Now, now what happened? These girls, they started to leave. And then what happened was Rishi Shringa, he started to feel uneasiness and restlessness within his heart. Because they were leaving, he felt, oh, uneasy, kind of, oh, they are leaving. Like that, he started to feel. Then, so Rishi Shringa began to constantly think of what happens once you start to contemplate on any sense object, you start to develop attachment to that object. Are you all remembering the words what we are talking about? In the Bhagavad Gita sessions, we learn when you contemplate, you get into attachment of that sense object. Likewise, Rishi Shringa here, he started to imagine about these girls and he started to feel the separation of them. And then he now starts to slowly develop attachment towards them. This is what is happening to Rishi Shringa. Anybody who knows the verse of Bhagavad Gita, they can say the verse. What are we talking about? Contemplation, attachment. After that, you want to fulfill that desire, right? You want that desire to happen. Who wants to say? Anybody who has attended my classes, they want to say which verse in Bhagavad Gita are we talking about? Varun, yes, go ahead. Varun, I said you can go ahead.
Oh yeah, it wasn't letting us unmute. The host wasn't
Okay,
allowing
no
it.
problem.
But what is the verse? Krodha Bhavati Sammoha?
Yes, Dhyayato
Okay.
Vishya. Yes,
Oh,
Krodha.
okay.
Can you say that? The whole
I'll
thing?
say both of them.
Mm.
Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangasya Shupajayate Kamat Krodha. Should I say both?
Yes.
Okay, first I'll say Krodha Bhavati Sammoha. Krodha Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Shruti Vibrahma Shruti Brahmshad Buddhinasra Shruti Brahma Buddhinasra Buddhinasra Pranashriti.
So this is what is happening to
Okay, now should I say
Rishika.
Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangasya Shubhajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodhicayate.
So this is what is happening. Thank you, Varun. What was happening? He started to contemplate about them. He started to imagine about them. Now he's slowly starting to get attachment to them, and now he wants them. He wants them in his possession. So he wants to fulfill his lust. Are you all clear? Now, his Rishishringa, he began to constantly think of this beautiful women. Rishishringa could hardly sleep at night because he was contemplating about them and imagining. His mind and heart became overwhelmed by the thoughts of their sweet, sweet speech. Unable to think of anything else, the following day, Rishishringa, he went to the girls' camp. The girls received Rishishringa with great delight and then explained, "This is not our real home. You should actually come to our real home. It is not in the forest. I'm going to take you to our real home," like that they said. "Please come and board on our magnificent floating hermitage and accompany us to the place where we will be able to entertain you in a much better way. We have so many nice varieties of fruits and roots, and we shall pass them to you so that you can enjoy and perceive. You will not even know how the time is passing. We will entertain you like that. Don't even worry. Come, come, come." Like that, Rishi Shringa is being asked by these girls to come with him. And this hermitage that they have is a floating hermitage, it seems, meaning it can just float and land onto the palace directly. And now these girls are overjoyed by the fact that Rishi Shringa has become captivated by their beauty, and they are saying, "This is not our real home. If you come to our real home, we are going to have so many nice things that we have to offer, and we'll do a lot of things so that you will not even realize how the time is passing." Being captivated at heart, Rishi Shringa unhesitantly accompanied the girls. Thus, the woman allured him back to the capital of Romapada with the kingdom of Anga. Indeed, even as Rishishringa was being carried down the Ganga, Indra began to send forth showers of rain, giving joy to all living creatures. Just by the fact that Rishishringa happened to enter the kingdom of Anga, that is the kingdom of Romapada, Indra, because the Romapada's intention was that his drought and drought has to be taken care of. That is why he is bringing Rishishringa here, right? As soon as he entered into the city, that time itself rain started coming. Indra was so graceful to send the rains. And as soon as he understood that Rishishringa had arrived, King Romapada came out of his palace and bowed down before the young Rishi. Then, after worshipping Rishishringa with great attention, Romapad escorted him to the inner apartments of his palace, and then he presented his daughter Shanta in charity. When he could understand that Rishishringa was fully satisfied, Romapad begged from him the benediction that neither he nor his father would show their wrath towards him because of his duplicitous manner in which they have allured Rishishringa away from the home. So now Romapad is saying, see, we acted in a very duplicitous way, and we brought your innocence. I mean, brought you home to brought you to the kingdom, and please don't show any anger upon us, because we did this with a good intention only. We wanted our kingdom to be very free from drought, and that is the reason we have brought you. And so please, you or your father, you don't please do anything in anger upon us, because we acted in a very duplicitous way. What does duplicitous mean? You know, externally you pretend as if you are nice, but internally you have different plans. Like internally, these girls, they wanted to bring Rishishringa to Romapad's palace, but externally they were being very nice to Rishishringa. That is what is duplicitous. Okay, and please, Romapad is saying upfront, please don't have any anger upon us, please. Rishishringa, he gave the assurance, and thereafter the marriage between him and Shanta was celebrated with great festivity. After the wedding, the newly married couple continued to live in Maharaj Romapad's palace, and thus their days passed in royal comfort. Sumatra concluded his narration to Maharaj Dashrath that, O King, Sanat Kumara predicted that you would take help of your friend Romapada by requesting him to allow Rishishringa to come to the kingdom of Koshala and perform a horse sacrifice. Now Sumatra is saying, you have to actually bring this Rishishringa to your palace and then perform the austerities, the horse sacrifice that you are talking about, Dashrath. He's the right person to do this. It was further indicated that after the performance of the horse sacrifice, you would gain the fulfillment of all your desires by receiving 4 incomparable sons. So once you do the horse sacrifice in the presence of Rishishringa, you are going to get 4 incomparable sons. So illustrious, right? Maharaj Dashrath, he was very pleased to hear the story from Shumatra. And who is Shumatra? It is a question to you. Who is Sumantra? Yes, Rishi. Hari bol. Yes, go ahead. Can you not unmute? It's okay then, if you're not.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So should we start our question answer?
Yes,
No,
Mataji.
one
Okay.
second. The host didn't allow me to unmute myself, so I got to do it. I made a note of this. Sumantara is the chief minister of King Dasaratha.
Wonderful. So you're writing notes also, Rishi?
I wrote this note.
Oh, nice, nice. Next time you make a note of it in a book so that you don't lose it.
Yeah.
That way you will keep it safe and we can always recollect. Because see, this book is so big, we will have some different kantas and we'll be going through all of that. So you better, thank you, dear. You're encouraging everybody to do the same. Jyotsna, you had something to say? Hari bol. Hare Krishna, Jyotsna.
Krishna, please unmute yourself.
No, I didn't have anything to say. I was going to answer the question that you asked, but then I
Okay.
got kicked out.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Yes. So now there is the scenario where Romapad, he is going to no, I mean, I'm sorry, Sumatra, he's telling that you have to bring Rishishringa to the kingdom of yours, and that way when he performs the horse sacrifice, you are going to get 4 incomparable sons. That is what we left at. I'm going to go through just one more page so that we can start from 17th page next time. There was, okay. Now what happens, we will see. What happened? Maharaj Dashrath, he was pleased to hear. Then, without delay, he went to the kingdom of Anga. Who is there in the kingdom of Anga? Kingdom of Anga, we have Maharaj Romapada. So as soon as Maharaj Dashrath went, he actually received him, and at that time, the king of Anga informed Rishi Shringa that Dashrath was his real father-in-law. After enjoying Romapad's hospitality for about a week, Maharaj Dashrath addressed his friend as follows: "For a long time, I have been morose on the account of not having a son to perpetuate my illustrious dynasty. Now I beg of you to allow Rishi Shringa to come to Ayodhya to perform a horse sacrifice on my behalf." Romapada happily agreed, and Maharaj Dashrath, he soon returned to his capital with Rishi Shringa and Shanta. Then, when the spring arrived, Maharaj Dashrath, he humbly approached Rishi Shringa, begging him for instructions regarding the performance of horse sacrifice. Thus, the preparations for the sacrifice commenced, and the site was selected on the northern bank of River Sarayu. The system was for an emperor to challenge the horse over the world to establish the supremacy over subordinate kings. The horse would be accompanied by the soldiers of the emperor, and upon the arrival in the kingdom, a local king would either have to offer tribute to the emperor's representatives or fight to capture the horse. Any ruling prince or king was at liberty to express their tacit willingness to obey the emperor or accept the challenge and disobey the supremacy of a particular emperor. Once they accepted the challenge, they had to fight with the emperor Mens and establish his own supremacy by victory. The defeated challenger would have to sacrifice his life, making place for another king or ruler. Only when the horse returned after the touring the world with no more challenges left, could a horse sacrifice begin. This is explained how horse sacrifice is performed. So now we are at a stage where Maharaj Dashrath, he happened to go to King Romapada and he expressed his desire that he said, "I don't have any sons. Please allow your son-in-law to actually come to my house." In fact, he's the Dashrath's son-in-law only, because Shanta is Dashrath's daughter, right? And please allow Rishi Shringa to come to my house so that he can perform the horse sacrifice in my place. And how the horse sacrifice is placed is such that, so there will be a horse, it will go to each of the kingdom, and so any emperor who's ready to accept Dashrath as the king, he will say, "No problem, I accept you as the king," and he bows down. But somebody who is going to say no, then what will happen is they have to fight with Dashrath's army, and if they win, they will take over. But if they don't win, then they have to submit themselves. That is what happens. Okay. So like that, this horse will go to each and every kingdom, and based on the kings, whether they want to accept or not accept, they will not have a fight or not. They may have a fight. Okay, this is the process. This is how this after the horse went to each and every kingdom and everything, they get all the kingdoms, and now the actual horse sacrifice will begin. Okay, so this is what was explained. So with this, we will stop today's session, and then we will go to question and answers. Please raise your hands and I will call you one by one. Okay. Okay. Who was the father of Rishi Shringa? What is his name? Gobind.
Who calls everyone? That one?
Okay.
Shringi?
Yes. Mrigrishi. Mrigrishi.
Migrishi. I said Migrishi.
No, not Shringi. That is wrong answer. Okay, Gobind, you can put your hand down. All right. And was Rishi Shringa, why was Rishi Shringa not exposed to anybody other than his father, Mrigirishi?
Because his father. Oh, wait, can I answer?
Because his father.
Whoever started to answer, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Because his father wanted him to go back to Krishna without any material distractions.
Wonderful answer, Aditya. I don't want any more noise. Okay, one person answering. Okay, and what was Maharaj Dashrath's daughter's name?
Santa. Santa.
You should not say the answer. I'm going to call you kids. That's when you have to answer. Next time, I'll try to see if we can do Kahoot. Okay, that way it will be easier. Okay, next question. Okay, and who was the minister of Dasharath? Tejas.
Sumantra.
Very good. Very good listening. And next question. Rishishringa married who? Srinath. Srinand. Srinand.
Shanta.
Yes, he married Shanta. And then I'm going to have another question. So who predicted that Dashrath will have 4 sons? Manhar.
Oh, I'll do the next question. I forgot to unraise my hand.
Okay, okay. Who, if you know the answer, please raise your hand. Otherwise, just not raise your hand. My
Mataji,
question is,
try? Can I try to answer?
who's this?
Mishita?
Yes, Mishita, go ahead.
I think it was the Brahmanas.
Yes, it is the 4 Sanat Kumaras that they predicted that Sumatra was saying, right? It's the Sanat Kumaras. They already predicted that you're going to have 4 illustrious sons. And he was explaining that over to Dashrath. So that Dashrath feels comfortable. Okay?
Okay.
And why should a king be Krishna conscious? Anybody knows the answer only, please pick, Diya and Advik.
I think because they have a better life, like they won't be in bad situations. And
Anybody wants to add here? Nims?
they won't.
My name
Mataji, I want to.
Nims will say, and then.
My name is Amisha, but I shortened it down. So the king has to be Krishna conscious. So if the king is not Krishna conscious, the whole kingdom would not be happy. If the king is Krishna conscious, then the whole kingdom would be. Just like if your parents are Krishna conscious, so you are, so they tell you to be also Krishna conscious, just to make your life happier.
Manhar
Great
add on.
job, because the real misery is forgetfulness of Krishna. And when
Can Manhar add on?
yes, add on, Manhar.
So like if a king is not Krishna conscious, it won't tell the subjects of the kingdom Krishna conscious things.
Correct. And the real happiness is to know Krishna, because that way we can go back to him and be eternally happy. Otherwise, we'll be suffering in this material misery, right? We'll have threefold material miseries which will trouble us. We won't even know why it's happening, what is happening, and we will simply keep crying. Whenever we cry to Krishna, so Krishna can help us, right? We will not know all that. And that's the reason why we have to be Krishna conscious. We have to have Krishna conscious kings. And then, what other question? Who's performing a horse sacrifice and why? Jyotsna? Okay, Jyotsna is not here. Okay.
Mataji, can I?
Who's this?
Diya.
Diya, you answered, right?
No, Mataji, it wasn't me. It was another Diya.
Okay, you can answer then.
Dasharath made the horse sacrifice as he wanted he wanted a child.
He wanted sons to carry on with his kingdom, right? If he gets old, then who will rule the kingdom? That was the problem. And he wanted a Krishna conscious king. So he wanted somebody from him so they can prolong the kingdom. Okay? Okay, final question.
Yes,
I'll just ask and then we can conclude today's session. Uh, so did Romapad actually reveal to Rishishringa why he did what he did?
Mataji, can I answer this?
Who's this? Anybody who hasn't answered, please answer. Who's this?
Can I answer this, Nikisha? I haven't answered yet.
Who is Nikesha?
Yes.
Yes, you can answer.
So they did not reveal the plan because then they
No,
were not.
afterwards was it revealed? That's my question.
What?
Afterwards was it revealed? Afterwards was it revealed?
No.
Okay, Varun, you can answer.
Okay, the same question.
Yes, because that's not the right answer.
Okay, afterwards, yes, it was revealed.
What did he tell him?
Huh?
What did he tell? What did Romapad tell Rishi Shringa?
Romapad? I don't remember exactly, but he told. He told Rishabh. He told him. He told. It was revealed. I don't remember exactly what the plan was.
No, you did not listen to the class. That's what it looks like.
Mataji, can I please answer? This is
Yes.
Mishra. So he told that he was sorry because that he lured um the what is his name again? Like this, huh?
Rishi Shringa?
Yeah, sorry. It's a little confusing for me. So because he said sorry to Rishi Shringa because he lured him to the castle with by the beautiful woman, and he said please not be angry on him,
Correct. Absolutely.
and for his father and him to not curse him or anything.
Absolutely. Very, very good listening. What is your name?
My name is Mishita.
Mishita. Very good job. Rishi, did you want to add?
Yeah, so because there was a drought in the kingdom of Romapada, that's why he did all of this. Not to just make
For his sense gratification. No, it was not for that sense gratification of his. He wanted a bigger, he wanted the kingdom to be good and he wanted the kingdom to be free from drought. And that is the reason why he did what he did. Varun, did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, it seems like we need to pay attention to the class, and for that, you need to see Mataji is putting a lot of effort, right, kids? So we need to understand that everybody's time is here involved, and this is all for the benefit of you. Ramayan, if you know Ramayan, then you will understand Lord Ram start to get his qualities in you. This is why we are doing Ramayan.
Mataji, I know Ramayan.
Yeah, so with this, we will conclude today's session, Gobind and everybody else. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We will pay obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya
Krishna
kripasinubhyaya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय एंड रामायण श्री वाल्मीकि रामायण की जय हरे कृष्णा
Wait, Mataji,
Shirantika Mataji ki jai.
are there any other variations of Ramayana other than the Valmiki Ramayana?
Yeah, there is also Kamba Ramayana, which is written. And
I know one.
Tulsidas Ramayana.
There's Tulsi.
Yeah.
There is Tulsi Ramayana.
Yeah, Tulsidas Ramayana. Okay, there are different versions, but we follow Valmiki Ramayana by, I also said the authors, Maharaj.
So why do we choose the Valmiki Ramayana over the other Ramayanas?
So that's, if you know Valmiki
I can't hear you
Ramayana,
at all. I can't hear you at all. I think
no
somebody's
problem,
unmuted.
Aditya. This is the most widely used Ramayana, okay? And that is
Okay.
the reason why we.
Hindi Ramayan.
Yeah.
I
So
used to
anyways,
that
yeah,
time.
we will adjourn for today, kids. Let's all get back to
Okay.
our work, okay? And thank you all, everybody, for your attentive listening. Next time, please turn on your videos if possible, if you're not able to concentrate in the class.
Thank you, Mataji,
Bye.
for the class. Thank you,
Okay.
Mataji. Radhika
Thank
Mataji
you.
ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Bye, kids.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.